Hey everyone, welcome to Workforce Gaming. I am Brad, here with Doug.
Hey.
We are sent a code for Dreams of Another, which is a
hmm
weird looking indie game that I think it was in a state of play it was in a something. It must have been a state of play because it's a PSVR 2 game. But basically what drew me to this game is you are a guy in pajamas walking around this funky looking world shooting at these little
hmm
bubbles, and when you shoot at the bubbles, stuff materializes at them,
Yeah.
which is a very poor description of what you're probably looking at on the screen.
I remember this. I remember being very off. Like I found this game very off-putting because of that. To be honest, just like the basic mechanic of like you're just shooting around and there's like children playing all of a sudden. I was like, I don't quite understand what this game is going for.
It is very weird, and I'm gonna be 100% honest up front. I don't know what this game is going for either.
Okay, sure.
This game has so much like philosophical, like therapeutic, like that type of stuff in there that I got so lost and I'm like, I don't even like dream reality, creation, art, all this stuff that I'm like, this is not my
Maybe I
thing.
should have reviewed this one.
Yes, probably would have been better. The gun thing, because the gun thing was the weird thing where I even remember looking at this like, oh, this is such a cool world, but like, why do I have a
Yeah.
gun? And it's actually explained in the initial scene, which is you are a soldier who's basically terrified to shoot your gun.
hmm
So like, there's kind of this opening scene where you're walking around and you're with a couple, there's another soldier, and he's like, you need to go shoot him, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him, and you're like, I can't, and your guy's like struggling with it, and then that's where it kicks you into basically all these dreams, going back through
hmm
a whole bunch of different stuff. So it kind of contextualizes it a little bit. It still does feel a little weird in a few sections where it's just like, but like you could have given me anything. Like, why is it a gun? And my
Yeah.
mind instantly went to, because I absolutely love the game, The Unfinished Swan, because it's
Oh,
kind
sure.
of got the
Yeah.
same feeling where it's just this wandering around discovering stuff. And there's just you just going like splat, splat, splat with paint. And it's
Yeah.
accomplishing the same goal.
Where you're like building the world as you're exploring it, sort of thing.
Exactly. And that's what you're doing. So like one of the areas you go to a bunch is like an abandoned theme park. So you'll just show
Yeah.
up and the world is just kind of these bubbles, and you start shooting and you're like, oh, there's a merry-go-round over there. Okay, I start shooting around the merry-go-round and it makes it, to your point, it's also like that thing, that little blob kind of looks like a person. I better start shooting it. And then, oh, yep, look at that. Now it's a person. So that part does feel a little funky.
I mean, does the game acknowledge that like you're committing acts of violence to bring up this world? Is that the point of the game? Is that
So
like,
like
you know
the
what I
whole
mean?
point,
Like,
one of the main running themes in this is that is the connection between creation and destruction.
okay.
So again, this is not my thing. It gets so into like oh, what is art? And in order to do art, like if I just like break something and then leave it and put it on display, is that art? And I don't mean to sound like flippant and dismissive. I just don't understand that kind of stuff at
Oh
all.
man. I Yeah, well I don't know. Now I'm actually very curious about this game. I wasn't as interested in this game until you started talking about the things you don't like. I was like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting.
And that's the thing with this game where it's like I felt like it went nowhere. I feel like it was just constantly these like, oh man, but in my dream, like I'm a fish and there's this escape, and what does that mean for me? And it's just like I don't know, just tell me. Like, but the game also like layer, so because they're dreams, it's like it doesn't do them sequentially. So like you'll be in the amusement park and then you're like helping this boy like play a piano, and then you're a fish, and then like there's robot, and it all kind of like blends and merges together. But I think that's because again you're in a dream, and it's just
Yeah.
I got so like lost between the pieces of like, oh yeah, okay, so like the fish is trying to go here. I think I knew what that meant, but now the boy wants me to go ring the bell, and I think I remember what that meant.
hmm
And it felt very fragmented. And again, like I said, like I think there is an audience for this game. I just don't
Yeah.
think it's me.
Is the gameplay changing between those like different dream ideas, or is it like just you're shooting an M16 or whatever the gun is like, and just that's the game?
You're just shooting a gun the whole time. There are a few like weird little spots. Like there's a couple where it like talks about like, oh, again, getting into like the art stuff, like the perspective you see things changes, and you've got to like adjust kind of the way your character's standing, and you can see the different things in a different way, and they merge together and blend together. There are like pseudo boss fights. They're not like tough boss fights, but like one you're going around like spinning teacups, and the teacups keep spilling more bubbles, so you got to like kind of keep up with it as it goes. So it plays with the gameplay a little bit, but 95% of it is just walk around and shoot and see what comes out, talk to the thing that comes out. You can talk to objects, you can talk to people, you can talk to
Mhm.
doors, you can talk to everything. It's very weird, and I think that's the reason I actually ended up finishing this, because it's one of those games where it's like, I don't get it, it's
Yeah.
kind of fun shooting and like seeing the world explore, like kind of seeing the world kind of expand. That was one of my favorite things about Unfinished Swan. So it's fun getting that like little like, ooh, this is a fun reveal, but I don't understand what's going on. I don't get it. And then so it's just kind of this weirdness factor of like, but why is this clown in an amusement park with a businessman talking about how he's collecting the rings of divorced people all come well, this robot is talking about, can a robot create art? And I'm like, I don't know if a robot can create art. I don't
That's
know
so
why.
funny.
What?
Is it? I mean, is it like visually changing, or is it like how is it like progress? How's it showing your progression? Is there like changes to? Yeah, is there? Yeah, is there visual changes or
So
what's changing?
like as one of the things I think is cool about this is it kicks you to the main menu over and over again. Like your character is like having a new dream. So every time you have like a new piece of a dream, it'll kick you out. So like,
Oh, weird.
let's say you're in the theme park. You go to the theme park, you shoot the merry-go-round, you see it, you talk to the merry-go-round. It's like, why can't I work anymore? Do I still have a purpose if I don't work? And you're like, I don't know, merry-go-round. I'm just talking to a merry-go-round. And then it goes, boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and it fades out. And then the main menu screen is you sleeping in a bed.
Mm-hmm.
And it cuts back to you sleeping in a bed. So then you have to start the game again, and it'll kick you back. It might kick you back to the amusement park. It might kick you somewhere else. But next time you're in the amusement park, you're like walking out of the merry-go-round park to the part where there's a Ferris wheel, and then you reveal the Ferris wheel, and it goes like, but if somebody new buys me, do I still have the same purpose as I had before? Again, not trying to be.
You gotta take like an art class. I think just maybe one art class. That's so fun. That's really. I mean, to be fair, like I think the whole thing is like a collaboration with like with an artist, like a not just like a professional art, not somebody who does video game art, but like an actual professional artist. I think is the big thing because they did Eden, Pixel Junk Eden, which is also a very strange game. Yeah.
Obviously, I enjoyed the game in somewhat. I finished this whole thing. It's not super long. Maybe I think it took me maybe 6 hours. Not super long. Again, I think there's good pieces here. I think if you're the right person, this game will hit very, very hard and could fit very well. It talks about just these remorse, inadequacy. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? There's a lot of good themes in here that kind of made me think. There's actually a point 2 hours in where I thought I had this game down. I was like, I get it. That was cool. I get it. And then it like takes a whole right turn, and I'm like. The first 2 hours I got and I was able to understand. And then like the back 3 or 4, I was just like, I was so lost. And I was like,
that's so funny.
Had you stopped at that 2 hour point, and I think the game has 4 or 5 kind of like quote unquote stories in it. And I think it was like the first 2. I was like, I got it. This all made sense. We're not getting too deep into this here. We're not getting into who am I? And I got it. I had it. And then it just
so funny
went away from me after the last bit. But to your point, had you reviewed this game, I think we would be having a much different conversation.
I think it's interesting. I mean, I think it's cool that like I honestly think it's more interesting that you did it because it's like you're coming at it from a perspective that's like not necessarily the audience for it. I think it's interesting. I think sometimes
Probably.
like sometimes like you can get like even if like something is like totally for you, it can get like a little like I don't know. Just like, oh, I really loved all these philosophical things. Like, yeah, but you're kind of like preaching to the choir when you're talking about those subjects. I always think it's like more interesting when like you're not preaching to the choir on those subjects. Like, hey, this is a video game. A lot of other people are going to experience. Like, this is the way you're experiencing is probably the way that most people are going to experience it. To be totally honest,
that's fair. Because again, like I looked at it and was like, oh, creation is destruction. That's a cool theme. Like I have a gun. I'm like breaking stuff and things are, the world's expanding. Unfinished line. Yeah. Cool. And then I start playing it and it is this like, okay. What am I contemplating on this piece of my dream? And I do think if you're just like, you look at the trailer and you just see, oh, I'm exploding bubbles and making them turn into people and things. That's kind of a cool little gimmick.
Yeah.
You're going to have a very different experience than if you know going into this, like, okay, get ready to think, get ready to ponder some thoughts here.
You're going to be doing a lot of pondering. That's really funny.
So I don't know. Like I said, it's weird. Its weirdness got me through. Its weirdness made me intrigued. I think there's an audience for this game. I just don't think it's me. Well, we are Workforce Gaming. You can leave a comment below. Subscribe to our channel. There's a link to support us on Patreon as well. On there, you can vote for a backlog review, which we do once a month. We also have exclusive audios on there that we talk about some of the games we've played that function basically as a second review of the game, just in case there's anything that we missed in our review or thoughts we want to expand on. See you later.
Bye.